And are
Turn
you
it off?
able to
No, turn it up.
turn up the microphone? Are you able to hear the conversation that's taking place?
Wait a minute. What do you want me to do?
You could possibly turn up your microphone.
Yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
then I wondered if you can hear other people talking. Can you hear the conversation taking place? Dave Ballou, can you hear that?
I think that's a no.
Okay.
Hey, Dave? No.
Well, it is our goal to get the sound right for everybody. And we know as all of us are aging, we all have different levels of hearing abilities. So I know there are several people in the club who wear hearing aids or have found it difficult to hear. So I just want to sometimes address that situation and ask the questions.
That
you
was
say,
very
Jill?
diplomatic, Jill, very diplomatic.
So Bill Lindenfelser, actually, I think Luke was referring to you, that you're very quiet. Your voice is very quiet. It's hard to hear you, believe it or not.
Can you hear me now?
It's a little
Very,
better. It's a little
really
better.
soft, really soft, low voice.
Maybe
It's
I'm
not-
making too much noise chewing on my cucumber.
That could be it, Bill.
That could be it.
You're supposed to bring some for everybody, Bill.
That's right.
Well, I hiked at Linear Park today, Channing Philbrook Park. It was a part urban hike, just scoping it out possibly for the women. And it was the first time I had seen how that trail goes behind Tops and Panorama Plaza. And you can walk along Irondequoit Creek there, all the way past that plaza and Home Depot. And then you get into the Channing Philbrook Park, and it's lovely. And you can take that all the way down almost to Spring Lake Park. I thought that they might connect. A sign tells you how far it is to Spring Lake Park, but there's no way to cross the creek and actually get to that park. There were many fishermen out today, and I guess the trout are in the creek right now, but I don't know. It's not a busy park otherwise.
Does anybody know, would that be steelhead running or?
It's brown trout, and I was told another trout, but I don't remember. I don't think he said steelhead.
In
Okay.
Webster Park, we saw steelhead being pulled out.
Oh, Larry, it is steelhead. You've
That's
seen
what the fishermen called it.
Okay, all right, then I missed that. Yep.
Yeah, because I don't think it's trout season right now.
Well, there were
Well,
probably
I don't think it is either, but then again, I haven't really heard about too much stream fishing in January before.
there were about 8 fishermen out there who believed it was. So I don't know.
We saw them on New Year's Eve too.
Really?
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
I have been at that park in the fall to see the salmon going the other way, and that's really interesting to see the salmon running upstream.
Mhm.
Quite visible. Kind of fun to take kids to see that.
Sure.
You know, I remember a guy at work who was an avid ice fisherman, and I don't suppose there's anybody doing that these days. But he came in one Monday, I remember, and he had this oval sunburn on his face like this. Just-
I remember many years ago hiking around Quaker Pond in Mendon.
Uh-huh.
And I noticed as I got closer to the pond, there was a smell of like something burning. It wasn't wood. And I looked out on the pond and someone had one of these little huts,
Mhm.
ice fishing huts, all of which is illegal, but
Oh,
must have had a
really?
stove going in there, you know.
Wow.
Someone was out on Mendon Ponds on 100 Acre Pond today, ice fishing. And 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 half the pond is still open water.
Wow.
So, but yeah, they looked like they were having a great time. I wasn't going to walk out and check it out, but
Speaking of Mendon, next Sunday is Winterfest. So I don't know, does anybody know what activities will be happening there? I do know that our club is offering a hike. Larry will be leading a hike from the Evergreen Shelter, and I think it starts at 8:45. I don't know, Larry will have to confirm that.
That's all correct. I'm just checking. I thought Winterfest was canceled.
We can sit on the sofa anyways and watch
Oh, he's checking to see if it's canceled or not. So it's a question at this point.
Sit on the sofa.
Such a different life this year with activities and what can happen and what cannot.
His birthday is tomorrow. There are many cute frogs and many romantic songs. I can't decide.
I don't think that's intended for everybody.
It's my first gift as her boyfriend. It needs to be awesome.
Well, then maybe singing frogs, however cute.
Hey, Peter. Hey, Peter.
Try something more personal, romantic, and find a resident who
Thank you. Well, anybody else have a hike or an adventure to mention?
So it appears the Winterfest for 2021 is still on. They've still got a schedule online.
Okay,
That's good. And as Jill said, the hike will be at 8:45, the usual time.
okay.
All the
What day is
information's
that?
on our schedule. Pardon?
It's next Sunday, January
17th?
17th?
17th,
Yes,
yeah, but 8:45.
17th.
I was hiking in Oatka Creek Park last Thursday.
Uh-huh.
And apart from the fact that there was a lot of mud and that the creek was very high, I noticed that there seems to be a continual development going on there. I don't know if anyone's been there in the last year, but that old concrete bridge has been replaced by, it must have cost the state millions of dollars to replace that bridge.
Nowhere.
It's the bridge to nowhere, yeah. Our tax dollars at work. A perfectly good concrete bridge for hikers has been replaced. Plus they widened the trail, so it's now like a road for quite a ways beyond the bridge. And I notice also there's a lot of reclamation going on of trees that have died. I guess because of the emerald ash borer, and that combined with beaver activity has really decimated a good part of the forest, especially along the creek, but not just along the creek. So at any rate, you see a lot of these these white plastic columns in the ground with saplings inside growing out of the, to protect them from the deer. It's very unsightly. I hope ultimately that a fair number of them will survive. But the park is just not as pretty as it used to be.
Is that a state park or a county park?
It's a county park.
Okay,
I don't believe it was the county that put in the saplings. It's some water reclamation project.
You're right.
For the state. But
The DEC
all the
was
trees
involved
down in
in it.
that floodplain have been decimated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a lot at Powder Mill Park too. Saplings.
say it again, Sue.
I'm sorry. I just said there are a lot. I wait till I see that yellow. There's a lot of saplings like that at Powder Mill Park.
Okay. Somehow, Sue, we can barely hear you. I don't know if you are able to turn up your microphone.
It's not my microphone.
Okay.
And you see, there,
That's
see
much
now
better.
it's yellow.
But
Yeah.
now it's
It wasn't
perfect.
yellow before.
Yeah.
So all I was saying was there's a lot of saplings like that at Powder Mill Park.
Yes. Well, it's always good when somebody's planting trees.
Yeah, it's nice and dry up on the hill near the railroad tracks. We did trail work all the way from the fishing access all the way to the western end of the park today and started on our way back. doing the creek side trail on the north side of the creek there.
In which park, Larry?
Watka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, maybe it's going to be more beautiful one of these days.
Oh, it's going to be a decade or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got to do a lot of planning.
Uh-huh.
And they're doing some planting in the fields in that park also, not just the area around the creek. Some of that open land that was probably farmland, all it had in, an isolated hawthorn tree. But now they're doing those white columns with the saplings.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what are the closest Finger Lake Trail accesses for hikes around here?
Well, if you're
Sit Hill.
if you're including the branch trails, probably the closest, at least to me, is the Bristol Hills.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
And then if you go down to Letchworth, you can pick up the Letchworth Trail and start going south. But those are both branch trails.
Okay.
And Jill, the Bristol Hills Trail starts at Ontario County Park.
It
That's
starts
the
at
northern terminus.
which
Ontario County Park, also called Gannett Hill.
yeah.
That's where the northern terminus of the Bristol Hills Trail is.
It starts at the jump off, right where Luke is describing, and then heads south.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've led hikes from there down to Naples, which is a fabulous hike because you go through that park and then over Cleveland Hill and through West Hill and on to Naples. It's about, I think about 12 to 14 miles.
That, Luke, that takes you through the old Camp Cutler, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think it does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, it does.
How long is that from the jump off to Naples? How far total? It's a pretty long hike, isn't it?
I've done it a few times. It was somewhere, I think it's 14, if not, it's somewhere between 12 to 14 miles. Fair amount of elevation gain. To be honest, if you go from Gannett to Naples, it's a lot less elevation gain. If you go from Naples to Gannett, it's a lot more elevation gain.
Yeah.
So I told people that you would want to lead that part, okay?
Yeah, I'd like to do that hike again. I've been on it in pieces.
Yeah, yeah. It is a fabulous hike.
It is, yeah.
Larry, maybe that's one I'll lead for the club.
Well, I was thinking about doing it shortly.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't do the entire all the way to Naples because that's, if you ever climb Cleveland Hill in snowshoes when it's 12 to 14.
Well, yeah, it's, I don't do it. I've not done the whole thing in the winter. We did from Cleveland Hill towards Gannett last year, and Naples area, especially at the higher elevations, had gotten a lot of snow. And it was a lot of work going up Cleveland Hill in the snowshoes.
Yeah.
And right now it's hard to do the drop one car. Would you do it as a turnaround hike, Larry, or?
Yeah, in fact, as you bring it up, I don't know if it was the first time I did it. We did it from Ontario County Park over to the Nature Center and Cummings Road, something. It's after you leave Cutler, you have a road walk a while before you get back into the nature preserve. And we arrived there and our other car's keys were left in the original car.
Oh, no.
And it was a winter hike, so we were out in the cold.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trail goes through Naples, right past Bob and Ruth's restaurant.
Which always seems to be closed when I go through.
Well, Reinhard, when you say the old Camp Cutler, now Camp Cutler is still functioning, right?
Yeah.
As a Boy Scout camp?
I don't know, Joe, whether it is or not. I couldn't tell
Oh,
you.
it's in big business. It's
It is.
completely different if you go into the entrance. I mean, they've built it into separate areas that have got personalities like old pirate ships that have dorms in them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know our son did a lot of leadership training stuff at Camp Cutler, and that was a fun part of his Boy Scout years. So do we have, how many people do we have on, Dave? 33.
33.
Yeah. Okay, so we're more than what we see on one page. We've got 2 pages of people. Okay, and you can go to the second page if you want to see who else is here. So hello, everybody. Good to see you tonight or see your name. We've got some other programs planned so far for this year. After tonight, well, you'll hear about tonight in a little bit. And then let's see. Next month, Jerry Miller is going to be speaking, and he's going to be talking about the Great Bear Rainforest. And then in March, we have Kevin Flynn, who has hiked the 7 highest peaks on all 7 continents. And he's made some videos. I think his talk is mainly going to be about Mount Everest. And after that, in April, we have our very own Reinhard speaking about his AT travels. And, you know, you all know that Reinhard has written a book about his AT travels, don't you? Reinhard, I have your book on order. Can you tell us the name of it?
Well, yeah, it's OPA's Appalachian Trail Adventure, but thank you for that plug, Jill. I'll give you your $5 later.
Excellent.
But don't buy the book now. I'm in the process of doing a fairly extensive rewrite. And
I thought you were going to say you were doing the AT again and wait till after the second.
I'd love to, but the negotiations with my vendor aren't going that good, you know.
All right.
But I'm working on a rewrite. I don't know when it's going to be ready, but I think it'll be an improvement on that earlier book.
Okay. And so you'll do.
So ask for see if you can return it, Jill. It sounds like you ordered one. See if you can return it. I'll get you a copy when the new version is ready. I'll get you a copy.
We can work it out, Reinhard. We can. I want to read it because my friend wrote this book, so I'm anxious to read it. So we'll talk about that. Sounds good. Well, is anyone planning any adventures? Has anyone figured out where one might travel in this world of coronavirus and what they might do for the spring or the summer? Can you share an adventure that's in the works?
I'll just say I'm going to see Ann Hornbeck Sunday.
Oh,
she's having a hard time, and I'm going to visit with her. So I drive back with the Adirondacks a lot, or my son's in Hudson Valley. I can ignore what I'm not supposed to do sometimes.
You kind of have a place to stay up there, so it's kind of
it's
a convenient thing. I keep looking at the Adirondacks and thinking, well, let's see, should I go there? I want to go there, but I haven't decided to, I haven't found a particular place to go and stay.
Well, tell me your criteria and I can give you some suggestions.
Okay, I will talk to you about that.
Does anyone know if our ADK Lodge trip is still a go in February?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Bill is hawking it every Sunday hike for us.
I think it would be great to get up to the Adirondacks and to do some cross-country skiing. I see that Mount Van Hovenberg is open, and ski places that I've looked up, one of the things that they all say is they don't sell the passes at the centers right now. You have to buy the tickets ahead online.
Mm.
So I think they're doing everything they can to avoid contact with people.
I think it helps them maintain the capacity that they need too.
Okay, right. I did read they will refund your ticket if you come on a day where they've already reached capacity.
Oh,
So,
that's
but
nice.
that would be pretty disappointing if you did do that. So
Jill, did you see Lois's note?
no, I don't have a chat box open. I'll have to look at that.
Because I'd like to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I just see. What would you like to hear about, Luke? Tell me.
So Lois said she's going to be in the Adirondacks this summer as a volunteer summit steward.
Hmm.
Oh,
So I'd like to hear more about that and hear what mountain you're going to be on, Lois.
Lois, would you want to tell us about that? You could unmute yourself and talk to us. Hi, Lois. I see you've unmuted, but we can't hear anything from you yet. I do like that idea of volunteering as a summit steward or even as a campground host. And I've been contemplating that. I heard Peter Feliguera did the campground host last year, I think. And I don't know, maybe we'll hear from Lois about the volunteer summit steward.
I was gonna say, I know they also do a trailhead steward program now too. So like especially at Cascade and Porter, and I think
Yes.
at Giant, they're starting to do it too. So that's something to, you know, kind of help educate people that maybe are going up and need to be, you know, gently nudged in another
Right.
direction, or, you know, to make sure they have the right stuff. So they've been doing that the past few years too.
That's been a great education lately
Yeah.
because so many people are coming to the Adirondacks that are unprepared. And so they've done a lot of prep work at the trailheads. So Lois says she plans to go to the Adirondacks this summer as a volunteer summit steward. She has done that for the past 4 years. I would call and talk because I can't talk because my desktop does not have a camera or a microphone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thanks, Lois. Sorry about that. We're glad you're on here, and I hope that you. So can you see the program? Let's see. Desktop. Okay. Well, I don't know. I suppose you probably can see it, but I'm glad you've joined the chat box. That's great that you've been doing that summit stewarding the past 4 years.
You know, speaking of the need for the stewards and the folks that are going up there that are not necessarily the best prepared. I don't know if you saw in the Adirondack magazine, but they had a record number of search and rescues this past season.
Mm-hmm. Not surprising. There definitely was a lot more people out there this year that weren't prepared.
Yeah.
There's a lot more recreational hikers out there going to places like the High Peaks for the first time.
Now, has anybody attended any of the virtual events from other chapters of the Adirondack Club? Does anybody surf those sites and see any programs that other clubs are offering? I think Greg might be talking about something to somebody at his house. Thanks, Greg. Well, I haven't really done it either. It's, you know, if I had a little more time, maybe I'd look that up, but I haven't gone that far.
You're rather busy running hikes, running programs.
So tomorrow we have a women's hike and we are doing a crescent trail, Indian Hill Crescent Trail. So if you're looking for a hike and you're a woman tomorrow, please join us. The next week will be at Black Creek Park. So that's part of what we're looking at. Have people met Peg Jacobs and Marcia Barrett, the two new waterways people? I see they're both on here tonight. They are heading up waterways for Charlie, who was there for many, many years in that position. And so they are planning paddles, but they are also inviting people who have other paddle ideas and suggestions to please email them and to lead other paddles. So please feel free to contact Peg Jacobs or Marcia Barrett about those.
Did we welcome Larry as new trails person last time?
Oh, I don't think we did, Larry, but boy, are we happy that you're in that position. So Larry Telly is.
I just lay off for a year and then come again, so get rebalanced.
Well, he's the Trails co-chair and he would like someone to co-lead that with him. So if you have any interest in that, you could contact Larry. Of course, I'm the program chair and I'm looking for a replacement for myself. I've been doing this for a few years and I'm happy to do something else right now. I started leading these trails and would like to do something like that, but would love for someone else to take a turn at running the programs. This year, it's been an interesting way to offer programs virtually. And people have been wonderful about doing that. Thank you, Priscilla, and that she's coming for the second round. She's a brave, very willing woman. Thank you. And we really appreciate that. So anyway, we've just got two more programs that need some planning. Looking for a May speaker. So if you have any ideas, you could email me. You can find my email on the website. And anyway, looking for May and June. I was thinking June we could have some members speak. And I wondered, you know, if people had found a way to travel or camp or something during this year of coronavirus, and if there might be things that they could share about doing that. So if that was something you did this year, had a successful trip doing it, consider contacting me. I mean, we could have several people share just, you know, a number of slides from an adventure they took. So those are ideas and options that are out there. I think it's 7:30 now, so I think we could let Luke do some announcements.
Sure, Joe. So Jill already mentioned a few, so I won't go into detail. There are definitely a couple positions that we're still looking for people. She mentioned programs chair, the trails co-chair, and also a young member chair. So if anyone has interest in that, please contact me. We've decided the executive committee, there was a few Genesines we're mailing out, and due to a number of concerns with COVID and some additional details, we will not be mailing those out in the future. We want to let people know that. And I just want to continue to encourage people to check our website, especially the calendar, checking for events, but also for hikes through the winter. Sometimes the hikes are scheduled later, so you should check often to make sure that you're aware of them during the weekend, during the weekends. And then once the warm weather hits, there'll be a bunch of paddles on there as well. Okay. Jill, I think that's about it.
Okay. Well, tonight I would like to welcome